are again. We're cooking in Cornwall again, and we're proud to be here and proud to use all this lovely Cornish produce. Thank you so much. You've all been absolutely amazing with all the communication and all your support. We can't thank you enough, actually. We didn't realise it would go so well, but we're glad it has. So today we're going to just try bring the sunshine for you all. We're going to have a picnic. We're going to make a picnic, aren't we, Elaine?
Yes, absolutely.
And we're going to do some typically Cornish produce that you would take on a picnic using meats and eggs and making pastry and some lovely pies. So I'm going to quickly go straight on and make some pastry. I know it's all your fear, so I just want to make sure that you know how to do it properly. Now I've used a flour here today, and it's got maize in it as well as wheat, because it'll be a much crisper flour then. When it's baked, the pastry will be crisp. Now I've put in some pastry fat, it's the same as before. And remember last week, I can't help it, I put my hand in this, I can't help doing that. But I've broken up the fat. I'm going to just quickly put a pinch of salt in that, a good pinch. And if you'll see here, I've got some iced water, and I've actually put ice cubes in because the weather's on the change, I hope. So I just thought it would be a really good idea to chill my water properly with ice. Let's turn that on, and away we go. Same as last week, really. You know, we made a pasty pastry last week. This is now a short pastry. And if you remember, the pasty pastry was really elastic. Well, we want this to be really short. So I'm just mixing that into a crumb, and as you can see in here, I'll show you in a second, it's not over mixing it. A short pastry, you just literally make sure the water's mixed in and don't over mix it. Whereas last week we made pasty pastry and we beat it up. Do you remember? Right, so there you can see that, it's just a fine crumb. Right, now here we go, and we just tip in the water. Keep back your ice cubes, and don't forget, if you want any of our recipes from the show, if you can just go onto the Cornwall Channel's website, you can actually just get them at any time. There we are, and that's that, all done. Just a little bit sticky actually. We've got a little bit more flour there, Elaine. As I said to you, some of these flours, they're a little bit different, so just like,
you notice the colour of
yeah,
it now,
and that's the maize in it, Elaine.
Right. I can feel how much softer it is.
Yeah, it is. And actually, if you see this flour is really white. When you work with the other flour in here, you'll notice that it's much more yellow in colour.
Of course, you can't get that in the supermarket.
No, you can't.
But if you add a bit of corn flour, will have a similar effect.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I've just done that, so it takes it literally away from the bowl, and that's it, done. That's your pastry over with. That's the worst bit. Now we can get down to some business. And we're going to make, with this pastry, I'm going to set it in the fridge for a little while, same as yesterday, or as last time, and make it really nice and cold, so it's easy to work with. So let's just mould that up, and job done. Get it into a bag, and pop it in your fridge. So here's some that we've put in the fridge earlier. So we're going to use some of that first. There's Rosie for later.
Okay, there we go. I'll wrap that one up.
Yeah, fine. And Elaine, what are you going to be doing now? I know you've got all these meats here today, and we're going to make an egg and bacon pie for our picnic. So.
Well, of course, that's the Cornish version again. Every time we come to Cornwall, they do something different, don't they?
Yeah.
And we always had quiche at home, but down in Cornwall they have egg and bacon pie, not bacon and egg pie, egg and bacon pie.
Right.
Mother-in-law taught me how to do it, and actually we've got a guest today. We've got Gavin from Colonel's Sausages, and he's bought all these wonderful pork products, and he's introduced us to a different sort of. I usually just put plain, straightforward ham in.
That's
but
right.
Gavin's bought us a special piece of meat, and he's going to come and show me how to take this apart to slice it up.
Well, while you do that,
you carry on with
I'll carry on. I'll
yeah.
have my tin ready for this pastry, all this lovely meat and eggs and parsley to go in, and that's what generally happens. So it's parsley, egg, and bacon pie. Gavin, do you want to come and talk us through this meat? Is that all right? There we are.
Yeah, fine.
What would you like to know?
Oh, just about the cut and why this is best. What is it? Yeah, Elaine. What
This
is it?
This is one of our dry cured bacon loins. This one actually is a dry cure smoked piece of bacon, because I think the smoked gives something a little bit different, but something really quite a nice sort of rich depth of flavour to an egg and bacon pie.
I've never used it before, a smoked bacon.
I think we cure all of the bacon that we cure at the Cornwall Sausage Company is a dry cure. We typically, our bacon's in for about 8 weeks. So by dry curing, the difference being is that we don't add any water. We aren't pumping sort of sulfates and nitrates into the bacon and increasing its weight by increasing its water content. Quite the opposite actually. We rub our salt and our seasoning into the outside. It then goes off and it's hung. It's turned over on a regular basis, additional salt added if needs to be. And what you get essentially is you get quite a dry, as you can feel it, piece of meat that when you cook that, you'll get very little sort of shrinkage, waste reduction, and a really wonderful sort of traditional flavour.
Right, Elaine, I'm ready to put that in here.
Oh, wow, there we go, I've started. Oh, there's another little tip, actually you can show me how to do that later. Another little tip that I said to you is this morning, about how you put your eggs in.
Yes, that's right.
I always put mine like that.
Right. Well, the shell will be a bit crunchy on your teeth, Elaine.
No, that's how we start. Yeah. Then I put the meat round, then I break the eggs, and then you actually get the eggs in whatever spots you.
And then it's evenly spread then, isn't it? That's a good idea.
It's a great tip, I think.
Mother-in-law's idea. I don't take...
Last week, do you remember I didn't use any flour? This week I've had to use a bit of flour because as I was talking about the stretchiness of the other pastry, this is quite short look. So that doesn't stretch. So I don't want it to stick and stretch all out of proportion. Right,
there we go. Do you break the eggs in?
No, go on Elaine. We'll do one each. I don't know about you. Do you break them straight into that pie?
Yeah.
Braver lady than me. You know what? I can give you a tip. This time of year, eggs go on the turn a little bit sometimes. And we could wreck that whole pie if we broke it straight in there. So at home, break them in a cup, one at a time in. That's what I always do because then I know I'm not going to wreck the whole product. Have you ever had a bad egg? Ooh.
Oh.
I haven't from the company I use because it's a local company and I know they're fresh and I know exactly where all these products have come from today.
Well, like we said last week, we use local products as much as we can. Need a bit of pepper on that, Marion. You've got some pepper?
Yes, just a small one, Elaine.
Yeah, all right. How did I miss it?
There we are. There you go. And we're not putting salt in this, as you say, because obviously...
Gavin said it's got loads of salt in it.
And it's flavoursome.
Now I put the parsley and then I put a little bit of meat on top again.
Right.
Because I've found sometimes when you put the lid on it, the parsley sticks to the lid.
Yeah, that's the point actually.
Yeah, and you need to get the sort of flavour.
That's your tip of the day, look.
I know. That and breaking the eggs in the holes.
Oh.
There we go.
I can't wait. I'm eager to get this lid on, Elaine.
But I've never had it smoked, Gavin, so...
I can promise you it eats really well.
It's
something. This is a, like you said, it's a Cornish classic. I remember eating this as a child. My gran used to bake egg and bacon pie all the time. So I think this is part of the attraction when I was invited along here today. I was promised egg and bacon pie, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wait. Now, Gavin, some people saw me cutting all this fat off, and they're probably going to think, I'm just going to throw that in the bin. But I'm not. We always talk about bakers recycling products. Now, what can I do with that, Gavin, to make use of it?
To be honest, there's a lot of things you can do with it. Obviously, it's got a lovely, rich depth and smoky flavour. And to be honest, what we do with it at home is if we have trimmed fat of anything, quite often we'll put that in around our roast potatoes on a Sunday, and you'll get a really lovely, smoky roast potato, which again is a really nice kind of interesting sort of play on flavours with what is otherwise a very traditional meal that we're all used to.
Yeah.
Right, Elaine, I'm going to egg wash the top of this pie. Is that what you do? I put holes in mine, do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know me, one in, one out for the air to go in and out and it circulates, the lid don't blow off.
And also, one in, one out on this one, because if you do one right in the middle, you're going to burst that yolk, aren't you?
Avoid the eggs. Now, I've beaten some egg up in a little pan and it's just egg. Last week I put milk with it, but this week I'm not going to. I want a really nice glaze. So now, I don't know about you, sometimes you can let that set. If you want a really, really, really crispy pastry on top, let that skin over and set, and then go back and give it another egg wash. That's your award-winning pie stuff. So, and I've got to avoid these eggs. I know where they are because Elaine told me. Can't feel the shells, that's good.
That's right, not so crunchy.
Right.
No extra
that's our pie
calcium.
done, ready for the oven. Elaine, now we talked about recycling, and you remember that bread I bought last week? It was a sourdough, the big loaf. I'm going to make a quiche with that today. Now, if you could grate that cheese for me, and just a tip, if you're grating, I don't know if you do this, I dip my cheese in some flour, and when you're holding it, it won't crumble.
I was going to ask you.
Stick to your hands.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because it really is very soft and crumbly.
If it's too soft and you find that, because it is a lovely Cornish cheese, you can always break it up like that.
Okay.
So just do what you
can. Right, I'll do my best.
Right,
I'll start with the eggs actually. Is that okay?
Right, this loaf of bread, that's the sourdough from our show last week. Now, just to let you know, I'm going to make a quiche using this today because I just think everybody, we've done pastry and you're thinking we're going on a picnic and everybody doesn't want to have pastry, everything on a picnic. So I'm literally, it's quite a hard loaf now because it's a bit stale, as you can see. And I'm going to cut around inside. There's my crust. Don't go right the way through because we'll lose the base out the bottom. All your liquid will fall out. And I'm just going to dig this out. And you know what? We'll recycle these crumbs next week. So you can make a treacle tart, you could make some Scotch eggs and the breadcrumbs. You could use it for chicken. If you was making chicken breast fillets or anything at home, you can do that. But I'm just making a nice hole in the bottom of this, look. We'll put that in ready.
They're fantastic. This is nice.
It's good, isn't it? It's like,
honestly.
Is that easier?
It's much easier.
Yeah, see.
There you go. All this useful information.
Right, so as you can see, it hasn't taken me long at all to knock this quiche up. Not like making the pastry and rolling it all out. I'm ready. I'm using stale bread, and it's brilliant. Now, I'm going to just melt a little bit of butter, Elaine.
Okay. So what quiche is it going to be? Just a cheese and tomato one?
Well, I thought we could, because we've got all the lovely Cornish cheeses in Cornwall, we need to use local. And talking of local, this butter, look at it, it's not the run-of-the-mill. That's handmade butter from a farm, look at it. I'm only just going to melt this butter, as you can see, and look at the colour of that butter. It's not yellow and awful like you have before. Look at it, Elaine. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, so you don't completely melt it?
No, I've just done it just so that I can soften it. And I'm doing this because if I pop this in the oven for a few minutes before we put the filling in, it will stop, or it'll like seal it really.
I was a bit concerned about that. I thought, well, is it going to soak through the bottom or not?
You know me,
I
different.
Actually, should we get Gavin cooking these sausages?
Oh yeah, that would be a great idea.
Hey, Gavin.
Hello.
There you go. There's your sausages. Do you need a fork to put holes in them?
Oh, certainly not.
Well, I'll tell you what, you tell me about the reason why when we're eating
Yeah,
it.
by all means.
I bet there's a good reason. I bet you know it as well.
Right,
there we
I'm
go.
just
There's
going
a
to
cheese.
literally throw that in my argo lane. Look what
Right.
That's it. No tray, no nothing. In it goes. 5 minutes. Job done. Where's those eggs?
They're here.
And now, as you can see, Elaine, that milk isn't the run-of-the-mill milk.
No, it's
That
gorgeous.
is Cornish milk at its best. It's full fat milk, it's really creamy, and I usually put about 5 eggs
That's right, I do. 5 eggs.
and a pint in together, and job done really.
I think, do you know what, Marion? People are terrified of eating fat these days, and it's just so crazy because in that fat are the vitamins that you need to digest the calcium that's in that milk.
And that's exactly right, Elaine. And
You know, nature's got a way of balancing things out, hasn't it?
oh, definitely. That's why I'm so slim.
And me.
Oh dear.
We've got loads of cheese in. Now, what
That's
do you want me to
brilliant,
do with
Elaine.
these tomatoes?
Well, those tomatoes, we'll just cut them in half, shall we? Now,
There you go. That's ready for you.
when I cut mine in half, Elaine, I usually just get them and I go this way because
Yeah, I used to as well.
if you look inside that tomato, look, it's got
Pretty.
a nicer shape. It makes it prettier for you to use. And we're going to put them face up, so we want it to look nice when it comes out. So
Are those sausages doing, Gavin? They're sounding good.
Yeah, definitely. I think there'll be a few minutes yet, mind you.
the other thing I'm going to do today, because obviously we're trying to get a picnic together for lunchtime, is I'm going to make some Cornish rock cakes. So while everything's getting ready in the oven, we'll get prepared for our rock buns. So they're going to be almond and chocolate chip. Right, we've only made some pastry in this bowl with flour, so we're fine now to carry on and not even wash the bowl. It's similar ingredient, so we're ready to rock. Pardon the pun, we're making hot cakes. Anyway, they're almonds, so I'll just get my bits together. Do you remember last week, Elaine, I said to you that I'm going to recycle my scone mix. Here it is. Alright,
now that's another little tip.
So if you've got any scone mix left, look, it's still the same. If I bake that in the oven, it would be really, really horrible and hard and doughy. But if I mix it in with this mix and recycle it and break it up.
So what's that going to add to it?
It just means that we're not wasting it. It's
right.
similar, it's got all similar ingredients, as you can see from last week. And we're not wasting anything. Because you know, I'm trying to recycle it. I'm trying to cook for Cornwall in recycle mode.
So it isn't like, you know, sometimes you add a bit of a starter to a dough mix. It's not going to do anything like that.
No, nothing like that. Now, Elaine, I've just put in some really strong red flour and some sugar and some Cornish butter, some ground almonds and baking powder. And I'm just going to get my hand in there because that's what I do best, look. I'm mixing that slowly together. And I'm ready for my rock cakes in part 2. Okay. However, I'm going to take my quiche out now.
Well, I'm all ready for you.
Okay.
Wow.
And look at that, okay?
It's looking good. Still reasonably soft, you know, Marion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Do you think it's a week old?
Yes, it is. Now, that's all I'm going to do, because I want to get it back in the oven for as quick as I can. We've mixed the cheese. I'll pop that in. That's it. Job done. Bit of this. Make sure they're all up the right way. Quickly get this in the oven. And a bit on the top. In with the egg. Look at the colour of that.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
And then you pray that it doesn't
That's not
leak.
going to come out the bottom.
It goes.
Well, who's in charge of cleaning the Arga?
Peter.
That's what we're keeping for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Do you know what? It's absolutely perfect. I haven't any left.
I'm just going to put a little bit of
black pepper
on top, just so you like this.
You're not using salt? Is that
No.
because the cheeses are quite salty?
It's quite salty, yeah. It's good. And back in the oven. Oh, I can't wait to try that.
No, normally I'll just... It's smelling so good.
Right, well that's that, Elaine. That's in the oven. I'll see you after the break.
Cooking in Cornwall would like to thank all of its supporters in making this programme possible. We aim to bring you a fortnightly show cooking with all the wonderful and delicious produce from Cornwall in an easy to follow demonstration. If you are a chef or a food supplier in Cornwall and would like to take part in the programme, please get in touch with us by emailing cooking@cornwallchannel.co.uk or alternatively find us on Facebook or Twitter.
Welcome back to part 2. Thanks for coming back to join Gavin and Elaine and I. And we're now going to do a sausage surprise.
Yeah, do you know the surprise is we've never done it before, have we?
Well, we thought we'd make a plat for you. So I've got some pastry, which is from one of those packets in a freezer in a supermarket that you can all buy. Or Elaine's got some here that she's made. Now, just to tell you a little bit about the different pastry again. If we cut this, we should be able to see the lamination in this.
Oh, that's perfect.
Look at that, there's layers. Now that's layers of fat. Now the fat in there, it's a pastry fat, and pastry fats have got a certain amount of water in them, and it almost, as the heat hits it, it bubbles up, and it makes the layers of flakiness. So that's a really nice pastry, Elaine, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
Right, but I'm going to try and make you, when I say try, we haven't done this before, but we thought we'd try today, because we had these lovely, lovely sausage meat and things. Now, I've just done that just to make some lines so I know what a third is, okay?
Gavin, are those sausages ready?
They are, lovely.
They're smelling absolutely
Just here for you,
fantastic.
Okay.
Wow, look at those, can't wait to eat those.
Anyway, could you just chuck a bit of flour on that for me? Because I'm going to give you another tip.
right.
You can have your hand, that's all right.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just
that's
going to
the
put
way.
the sausage meat into this dish. But if I pick it up like this, look, it's all sticking to my hands. And if I just have a bit of flour and roll it and put it down the middle of this plait, it stops it sticking to me. And it'll make the juice better as well.
Anyway, Gavin, while you're here,
Yes.
I see this is Cornish sweetheart. It's fantastic. Dark bacon, and we've got hog's pudding. Can you tell us a little bit about the ingredients?
Yeah, absolutely.
that you're using?
The Cornish Sweetheart was a bacon that we developed last year at the Cornwall Sausage Company. Essentially, it's a dry cured streaky bacon. So again, using the same principles we talked about earlier. But then it's cured for 2 weeks, or marinated for 2 weeks in molasses and chilli, which gives it a lovely sort of burnished colour and a bitter sweetness. But also it's got a little bit of warmth there that kind of, it's not really a fiery heat, it's just a nice warming glow. And our hog's pudding, this is actually a new hog's pudding recipe that we've developed.
I've used it because it's got cream in, I hear.
It has, yeah. I mean,
we've
we've developed this for Chris Eden down at the Driftwood, and it's a very traditional recipe. It's a take on our regular recipe, but it actually uses Cornish double cream to give it that extra element of richness.
Perfect. Well, let's get this treat into
Yeah,
this pastry.
absolutely.
Now I've made slits in this pastry down the sides. Now I'm going to get a little bit of egg wash again, because we need it to stick together now. So I've just stuck that in there, look.
It's looking good.
It is good, isn't it? Now, so I've laid the sausage meat, the bacon, and this hog's pudding. I'm going to make a plait. You saw me do the little slits. They have to be even down the sides or it doesn't work. And then you just literally just tuck it across like this. And just make sure you cover it like this. All right.
Actually, there's a different way. Sometimes people just do slits across the top, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
I think that's better, isn't it?
Well,
It's
yeah.
lovely when it's finished.
Yeah, it's covering everything up.
That's part of the beauty of food as well. We eat with our eyes almost as much as we
yeah,
eat with our mouths.
that's right. As you can see.
Nothing good with some good old wholesome bacon, is there?
Absolutely. And do you know you were saying about sort of using up scraps for this hog's pudding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody had a pig. I mean, my gran always had a pig. And they used to sort of share the bits and pieces. I mean, nothing was wasted except the tail, wasn't it? I think that was the only bit
Absolutely.
that didn't get used.
I think the expression is from hooter to tutor was the one that my granddad used to tell me when I was a child.
We'll leave that bit on the end. You could trim it up if you want more, but we're picnicking. Let's remember
that's
what
right.
we're doing. Now look, it's solid now. It's almost like a sausage roll of puff pastry.
A little bit better than a sausage roll. Step
Oh.
onwards.
Oh,
Oh, I can't wait to eat that one, Marion.
oh. There we go. Nice bit of egg wash again. Now there's no milk in this, so just give it a little egg wash. It'll hold it all together as well. Down the sides, and that's ready for the oven. There we are. It's going in. There we are. Don't forget, if you want any of our recipes, just go online to the Cornwall channel and you can get all the recipes of all the stuff that we've made today. Now I'm going to have a quick clear down and we're going to get on these rock cakes,
Okay,
Elaine.
right.
Elaine, we're going to make these lovely rock cakes.
Cornish rock cakes.
Oh yes, well yes, like I said, this lovely Cornish milk, look at that. Right, literally in the bowl I've got the sugar, I've got the fat, I've got the baking powder, and I'm ready to put in the milk and the eggs. So I've started with the milk, just to get it all moving. All the egg goes in. Just don't add all your milk at once. Like I said to you, different things. The flour sometimes will react differently with the amounts of liquid. So rock buns need to be nice and sticky. More sticky than the scones last week. And I'm just going to, before it's cleared in there, so there's still a bit of flour at the bottom of the bowl, I'm going to add all these chocolate chips. Now you can get baking chocolate chips, and they are yummy because I've put ground almonds in this as well. So we've got almonds and chocolate chips. I love that, don't you?
Lovely combination.
Yeah, that's good. See this? Look. Me sticking again, hand straight in. I can't help it. It's the baker in me, Elaine.
That's right.
Now, that's all we need to do with these. We want these for a picnic, don't we? So we need them to be rusticy. And I'm just going to literally drop these out. The same as I do in the bakery, really. And that's put your hands in it.
Yeah. Well, when I was at college, at very first, when I was sort of quite young, my tutor used to say, Miss Parnell, it was fingers before forks in your case. And it's true. You get a feel for the product, don't you, if you touch it?
But just remember, when you put these on your tray at home, if you can see, I've spaced these out because they will flow a bit in the oven and we don't want them to touch because they won't bake properly. So, and you might think, oh, why is she only putting that many on? But you'll see in a minute when they come out, they flow on the tray and almost double in size.
I wonder, you know, we said they're Cornish rock bands.
Yeah.
If any of the viewers out there have got an opinion as to, are they Cornish or aren't they? That could be quite good, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, I wonder. That'll start them off.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is it a scone or a scone last week?
Oh, I know.
Good. Right, Elaine. That's our dozen to go in the oven for today.
And we've got to do 13 baker's
Yes,
dozen.
I'll do a baker's dozen. He's not having too much because we've got too many bits for him today, so he can have a little one. Look, we'll make a little one. There he is. That's for the baker.
Okay.
And the rest of it I'll recycle, and you can watch what I do with that next. Right, Elaine, I think that wobbly is gone as well. I don't think the quiche is wobbling anymore.
All right.
Out the oven.
Oh, I forgot to put some egg on that one. Sorry.
Yeah, the thing with it, if you don't put the egg on, they just look dull in colour, and it just gives them a nice shine.
Yeah.
And actually, it holds them together a bit more and stops them flowing. So that's really good.
Okay.
Oh, look at this sausage plat. What do you think? Don't let them see on camera yet.
No,
It's a surprise.
that's doing well.
It's looking good.
Put it at the top because it's hot up there, isn't it?
Pop those ones on the bottom.
Right, so, anybody hungry?
I can't wait for the picnic, can you?
No, normally. And you've got the weather right too.
I know.
If it had been yesterday, I'd
Do
try
you know, I've chilled some lovely wine from Polgoon.
Oh,
It is delicious. They've made this beautiful sparkling rosé, and you can try it in a minute. It's
okay.
really good.
It'd be rude not to.
Oh, what you got there then, Gavin? Let's have a look at
Like
that.
bacon, guys.
Oh, Elaine, what do you think? A nice glass of that sparkling. I do too. So, oh, let's go round here. Anyway, it's been absolutely fabulous again today to be invited to do this on the Cookery channel on Cornwall's cooking show. Now, we're going to tuck in for a lovely picnic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you.
This is looking good.
Woo!